Hey everyone, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. The Stories That Grew Us is back. I'm back with my co-host, the amazing Ally, who got married
I sure
over
did.
the holiday. So welcome everyone. Ally, what's good in your world today?
Oh my gosh. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I just realized this is our first episode back in 2023. So Happy New Year to everyone. New in my world. Well, getting married is a pretty new thing. So we had a New Year's Eve celebration and it was freaking fantastic. And now after a couple weeks off of uncontaminated time off, I'm like still pulling myself back out and getting my head on for business. So Shannon, what's up with you?
Oh my gosh. Well, Maria was supposed to have surgery.
Yeah.
Y'all, she getting a vagina. And that got canceled, but now we're back on for January 31. And I mean, when you're prepping for surgery and it's been like 3 years in the making, you realize like you're just getting ready for the next thing that has to get done. And then when the surgery was just like, poof, the nurses are on strike and it went away. I didn't realize, Ally, how much like, that happened, but now we're back in, okay, we got to get ready. Like it's this whole other energy thing, which we're talking about today, right?
Yeah.
Like we're getting ready again, right? We're 2 weeks out from tomorrow. And I'm like, oh my God, we have to kind of like go back to that place. So that's what's going on over here. It's all good.
Oh my gosh. Well, fingers crossed that this time is like the time. Yeah, I feel like there's like so much, there is, as you said, energy, but just like there's excitement, there's anxiety, there's like, did we remember all the things? Did they remember all the things? Did we get all the paperwork? Did we do all of the pre-op checks? And then to have to be right back in that pre-surgery cycle again. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So y'all, today we're talking on the Stories That Grew Us about speed and energy. And we want to hear from you in the chat. What is the relationship between these two in your business? All right. So I'm thinking of, are you a sloth or are you a cheetah? Or something in between, right? And side note on sloths, they are really freaking slow. When I lived in Costa Rica, they'd crawl across the road and you'd actually have to stop, get out of your car, pick them up, move them over, or you'd be there for 3 weeks waiting for the sloth crossing.
Yeah.
So Ally, you and I are both manifesting generators, which means we create at the speed of light. We create fast. Our communities are sometimes like, what the hell are they doing now? Right?
Yep.
So Ally, what is your relationship right now with one, being a manifesting generator and being in this creation? We create fast. That's like how our energy goes. And business. Are the people ready for it when it rolls out?
Oh my gosh. So I think the first thing to say is that it's so wonderful to even have the words manifesting generator, because I spent my life up until learning that those two words probably 2 years ago, not realizing that's what I was, or that there was a name for how I show up and operate naturally. So if I was to start off kind of like my journey with this, with like a dumpster fire story, it dates back for me as early as like elementary and middle school, like being the kid who always had her projects like these miraculous things in comparison to my classmates. There was 1 year that for the summer I had to pick a book, right? You had to pick books before you went into your freshman college prep, whatever. And I read The Bleak House. I didn't realize when I chose that book by Dickens that it was 862 pages long, or that it would take me 150 pages to get into it and understand what the hell was happening. There were so many characters, it was so dense. But I ended up really liking this book, and I was so excited when I got to put together my project. So I did this huge magazine that was all about the book, right? Me, the wannabe writer my entire life. This is what my project was. And I was so excited when we got to class and they were looking for the first person to present, and I raised my hand and I literally heard my classmates grumble. Oh, there she goes again. The eye rolls, the disdain, the resentment.
And I want to pause you for a moment because, oh God, I could cry just thinking about this. This was me on the sports on
Mm.
the sports courts, right? I was the one who was going to the morning and the afternoons. I was the one who went at lunch because as an introvert, I did not want to do small talk at lunch. So I went and shot free throws, right? I was the one who took every moment in joy because that is how I create. That is how we create, to immerse ourselves deeply in what we're doing and create something magnificent. And the bullying that happened on the sports teams, the petty girl shit of just like, it was bad. So I can totally empathize with you right there.
It was this like, it was just like, it was like sucking the air out of the room. It was like, I was so excited. And then all of a sudden with all of that, the verbal and nonverbal, cues, body language, and it wasn't just girls, it was boys too. Like, I intimidated everybody. And part of that wasn't just my overachievingness, but part of that was I'm loud and I'm boisterous and I'm blunt at times and sometimes ridiculously sarcastic and other times witty. And so there was kind of that, but then put this with this like twirl up energy of like being ahead and operating quickly and being creative in my approach to how I presented material. It was like too much for people. And instead of embracing it and understanding that this was just my natural expression, I felt shame. And all of a sudden, the confidence that I felt in having raised my hand and saying, I'll go, like turned into like, not wanting to make eye contact, wanting to stare at my feet, not wanting to share the thing that 2 seconds earlier I had been super proud of. And, it's been a journey. So like the messy middle from that, dumpster fire kind of life, the messy middle was like figuring out how to be myself and belong, all while feeling like I'm up against the crowd who is telling me that the way that I show up is somehow irritating or obnoxious or whatever, right? But now on the other side, being an entrepreneur, I'm like, well, no wonder I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I just didn't have the word entrepreneur. And then, when I found out about manifesting generator, I was like, oh my, I'm like a real thing. Like, I'm not like some sort of like horrible person that wasn't meant to operate like this. There's a lot of us out there. I'm a part of a really cool club. Like, but the way that it's manifested now is like, yes, I'm more confident in how I show up, but it's remembering that while I might be the manifesting generator, I tend to surround myself with a lot of people who are not when it comes to my teammates. I have a lot of connections or power partners that would also consider themselves manifesting generators, but my teammates are more the executors. They're not the visionary. They're the people who are going to do. So for them to keep up with me when I'm like the Tasmanian devil, I'm like, we could do this and we could do this and we could do that, and they're like, okay, like they love me for that brilliance. Yet at the same time, there's this balance that needs to be struck between, like, I don't want to say reining me in, but allowing me to understand what's actually realistically possible to get done in a certain way, and whether or not an idea is good and is ours to follow, or if it's an idea to couch, etc. So that's where I would say I'm at.
Yeah, you and I could do a whole season on this topic, I'm sure. And I've tagged Kate Varnes, so shout out to Kate. She is in our world, in our community, and she is the coach for manifesting generators.
Yeah.
Just helps people like us, like, harness and pull in all this energy and do something productive with it, right? That makes sense to everyone else because it makes sense to us. It makes sense to have 47 projects in action at one time. And I just know one of the things that I've had to do with my own team is I have to say to them, the next time I come to you with an idea, if we aren't done with this idea, you tell me to put it in the idea garden. That's what we call it, right?
Yeah, I give my team permission all the time. You have permission to tell me I've gone off course.
Yeah, it's so important. So I want to talk about being like a leader around joy and marketing. That's the story I want to share today. And it's just one of I used to call it a downfall as the manifesting generator. Now that I understand how I create and that people aren't generally ready for about 1.5 to 2 years later for what I've been talking about, right? This is what has been the path with the kind messaging, possibility messaging, joyful marketing, like all this stuff that I'm known for now. I've been talking about this stuff for 6 or 7 years. And really in this last year, people have really started like getting on board with, wow, we don't have to beat people up with their pain. We don't have to beat people up with horrible messaging and like slimy ass marketing and sales. And so years ago, I came out and said, I'm going to lead the joyful marketing revolution. Like that's what I want to be known for, right? And of course, that's evolved to joyful business because we do messaging, we do marketing, we do business growth strategy, but we do it all through the lens of joy. And, you know, I remember a few years ago, I was interviewing coaches for myself that I needed a new coach. And the dumpster fire was I thought I had found one after years, right? So y'all, just a side note, nobody can out strategize me. All right. So when I'm looking
True
for
story, everybody, true story.
I mean, I welcome you to try and out strategize me, but when it comes to me finding a coach, I look for really specific things because I don't need strategy, right? Like I got that in the bag. That is like my jam. It's my joyful place. So I finally found this coach and we were getting ready to sign the contract and something inside of me, the dumpster fire intuition said, you should really like run this idea of joyful marketing past her. And so I did. And she literally fucking laughed in my face.
No
And she
way.
was like, it will never work. Don't do it. It's the worst idea ever. And I was like, I can't work with you. Like my whole body just like got stuck, right? Like I knew right then I had to make a decision. And I didn't hire her. Now that was 3.5 years ago. And wouldn't you know, she's come back around. And she is on the joy business train now, right? She's on that train and she's using the words about joy and positive messaging and all of that. But this is what Ally and I are talking about. We often, our energy as manifesting generators is explosive and we create, and our audience sometimes isn't ready for it. And so we want to know from you, do you resonate with this? Or do you have more of the sloth energy, which is not a bad thing?
I love my sloths. I love the sloths in my life. I mean, I don't mean this in any negative way at all, but my new husband is a sloth. He is methodical. He's pensive. He's you know, he takes his time to think through. He questions everything. He investigates. You know, he's not going to be, you know, rushing to make the next move or to act. Like he's going to make sure that he's certain, you know, whereas I'm the cheetah, like running around in circles. And, you know, and one of the, you know, I wouldn't say one of the challenges is that like, I'm like, let's do all 7 errands in one day so that they're done. And then we have the next day to just relax. And he's like, oh my God, 7 errands in one day. You know, he'd be like, can we do 1 and then do the other 6 like throughout the week? Like, this is how it
This is so
my personal
Maria.
life.
This is so Maria. Like Maria and your husband, they're like wonderful sloths. And I want to say this, like I'm just sitting here, I'm thinking, can you imagine if like me and you were married to each other, what that house would be like? Like
it would be in ashes. It would spontaneously combust. We'd singe your eyebrows from our energy. I mean, like, just,
don't you wonder, like, now that, because we're kind of like looking in now, like being able to laugh, like, don't you wonder what our sloth spouses, like, what they're really thinking about us? Like,
oh no, he tells me.
yeah, Maria tells me too.
There's no guessing there. But one thing I'm wondering, Shannon, from your story, did this coach that like you didn't end up working with, but then came back around, did she come back around because she continued to follow you? Did she come back around because she just got wiser? Like, what was that about?
I don't know, but the way that she just like was so negative about my idea, it turned me off to the whole possibility of any relationship with her whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. she actually was like, no, I can't work with you. This is never going to work. And I was like, wow, I'm glad I found this out, that this is like how you operate as a coach before I gave you 10 grand or whatever it was.
Oh man.
So, I work really hard. Part of my energy is to work really hard on, I posted a post about this last week, trusting that everyone's doing the best they can with the information they have, with what they've got. And that means I also have to trust that about myself. So I said, no, I unfollowed her everywhere. I got off the newsletter. Like, I just couldn't have that energy in my space because it was hurtful, right? It was really hurtful. And so that's pretty much what happened. I'm realizing that we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Well, we got to the good stuff. I mean, now people are really interested to know who we are because we just told them these fabulous stories. So Shannon, who the hell are you? What do you do in this world? What makes you so fucking awesome?
Oh my God. I am all about that joy. I got a new book out called Practical Joy. Super excited about it. I am a messaging, marketing, and business growth strategist. And my body of work known around the world is the content personality wheel. Ally, what is your badass brilliance in the world?
My badass brilliance in the world is seeing and hearing people in a way that allows them to write the books that will change themselves and the world around them. I'm so stoked about this. In layman's terms, I'm a memoir coach and I'm a ghostwriter, but with a real healthy dose of writing guide mixed in, because I hand hold my clients from start to finished manuscript. And really believe in people's voices changing the dialogues in our communities and therefore changing the world. So that is what I am about. And I am open for new clients. So there's that too.
And I just want to say, last night when I was sitting on the couch scrolling through my Facebook, I saw your beautiful post about Sam, the book, the crowdfund that you're doing. I went and read it. It's like such a beautiful project. So if you want to check out what Ally's up to, you can go hop over to her Facebook wall and you can see her there. And Ally, tell them about your 5-step writing guide. It's such a clever, fun, joyful thing that people can get their hands on.
Yeah, the 5-step writing guide to finishing a memoir that will light up your world and ours is my new freebie. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it's super digestible because it's one page. And the whole metaphor is that writing is basically like going on a long walk through the woods and setting up a campfire. And so there are 5 steps. I'm not going to tell you what they are because you got to go get it. But the thing that I love about this, and this actually fits in really nicely with our conversation, is that I actually, despite the fact that I am a twirled up manifesting generator, believe in the power of the process of writing and taking your time. So while everything energetically for me looks like a sprint, when it comes to writing a book that is amazing and that will impact your life as the author as well as your reader's life, I am all about go through the steps, do them well, do not rush, do not cut corners, do not try to find shortcuts through the woods, follow the freaking path, do it your way, but follow the path. Because that is really what's going to get you to the other side beautifully. So the 5-step writing guide is kind of like the crash course. It's the 30,000-foot view on start to finish what you need to do to get that manuscript ready and to feel super proud of it in the long run.
I love it. And like Ally, I believe that business growth that is sustainable follows a journey. You can kind of make your own little twists and turns, but there is a process to this. There's a framework, right? And one of the things that we are really helping coaches and consultants understand is the energy of how you show up in your messaging and in your marketing. This is known as the content personality wheel. You can take the quiz and just in 3 minutes, you'll figure out, am I like live energy, like Ally and Shannon, or am I more a written content personality? Am I video, audio, visual? All right, there's 5 content personalities. We have just finished up, Ally, you don't know this yet, but you're going to be getting a copy soon. We have just finished up beautiful 6-page guidebooks for each content personality. That once people have taken the quiz, they're going to get their guidebook It is so beautiful. It's how to grow a community, how to nurture your community with your content personality. What famous people share your content personality and how have they used
I
it to
love that.
grow their own businesses? Like, we are super excited about these guides that are rolling out next month.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to hear about it. Everybody, you need to go and take this quiz. It's super duper business changing, which is life changing because your business is going to change. It's so brilliant. And, you know, just even without the guidebook, Shannon, like I've learned so much from, I've taken that quiz, I think twice because I got different results each time. It's just so helpful. It just provides such a different lens of how to do things. And y'all, again, because we're talking about speed and energy today, it will match with your natural expression and energy and how beautiful it is to feel aligned in what you're doing in your business instead of trying to push against the grain because everybody else around you is telling you to do it some other way. Like, can we just both agree to fuck that shit?
Can we just all agree that different is better and less is way joyful, more joyful?
Yeah, I have a t-shirt literally that says weirdo, and I wear this shirt proudly. I'm just like, I'm so done with the middle school eye rolling. Like I'm just done.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be done. Be the cheetah, be the sloth, be whatever.
Or be the sloth, or be an elephant, or be whatever the energetic animal matches you, and don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about your natural way to create, to write, to get your story out into the world, to do your messaging, do your marketing. Like, this is why we're here, to shed light on these stories, to bring the stories around to business. And so we do want to know, if you're here, it's #replay, tag some friends, let's build on to the story today. What is your relationship between your speed and your energy in terms of your business? And are you a cheetah? Are you a sloth? Or are you somewhere in between? You can choose whatever energetic animal lights your fire, as Ally would say.
Absolutely. And we're going to be back with another conversation on January 30th. Same time, same place. But Shannon, I'm willing to bet that if somebody put something pretty interesting into the comments that allowed us to continue the conversation, that we would be more than happy to go back to this if people found that there was more tenets of this conversation that they would want to hear about. Because I feel like we could talk about being manifesting generators and how that shows up in business for days. So please, folks, join in on the dialogue in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going on the 30th.
Yeah, and we'll put our links to the 5-step writing guide to finishing a memoir and the content personality quiz, and we will see you all in a couple weeks.
Bye, everyone.